We have breaking news from City Hall where we just heard strong words from Mayor Curry on the murders of a baby, his mother, and another woman.
When I got the news last night, I continue to be mad as hell. This has to stop.
The mayor stood next to Sheriff Williams at a news conference you saw live here on Channel 4 and on News4Jax.com, vowing to fight violent crime until it stops.
5 people were shot last night. 3 people were killed. These 3, 11-month-old Tadashi Williams, his mother, 22-year-old Khadijah Williams, and 18-year-old Zaisha Burnham. They were found in a car on Cleveland Road in Northwest Jacksonville around 6 o'clock last night. Police say the shooting grew out of some kind of argument. A vigil will be held at Simon Johnson Park less than an hour from now at 6 o'clock to remember the victims. Channel 4's Heather Lee and Elizabeth Campbell are at the park, but we begin our coverage with Jim Piggott, who just spoke with the mayor and the sheriff. Jim?
I'll tell you, a lot of angry people here, frustrated people here at City Hall. Where I'm standing at, this is where the mayor and the sheriff made their announcement. These are portraits for hope. All of these are pictures of kids that have been killed violently here in Jacksonville from 1996. There are 660 children that have been killed. These represent just a few of them. And the mayor made the statement today, hoping that he won't have to tell any more stories like this. He was very angry. The sheriff, very angry today. They want this to end. In fact, here's what the mayor just said.
We are going to push this and fight this till it stops. Continue to fund the equipment, the manpower, investment in Jacksonville Journey to put an end to this. This is not acceptable in our city. We are going to fight this together.
I'll tell you, when the mayor first started to talk, he almost seemed in tears when he learned of this last night, but he was angry and is determined to make something happen. Standing next to him was Sheriff Williams, who echoed many of the same thoughts that he had. And the sheriff is saying that there is so much violence here, it's violence they're working to control.
Our goal today is to bring some justice to this case, and we're working hard to do that. And we have had terrific, outstanding cooperation from the community. I can't tell you how much information we've gotten. It's been overwhelming.
And the sheriff saying he can't talk much about the information that he's getting, but he is getting information. This was done here at City Hall, where today city council members actually heard and talked about funding to help solve problems like this, funding for the Jacksonville Journey. We're going to have more on that coming up, all new at 6 o'clock. For now, we're live at City Hall. Jim Piggott, Channel 4, the local station.
Thank you, Jim. The heartbreak for one Jacksonville mom in all of this is beyond description. 7 years ago, she lost her son to violent crime. Now, she has also lost a daughter. The daughter who was killed last night was 18-year-old Zaisha Burnham. Her brother was killed back in 2009 while waiting to catch a bus to First Coast High School. His case remains unsolved. Burnham's family and members of the community are holding a vigil that begins about an hour from now. Channel 4's Heather Lee is joining us live from Simon Johnson Park. Heather?
Well, Tom, that mother saying that she has been receiving so many calls from people showing their support for her and her family. She says that this has been very, very difficult, and memories from 2009 have been flooding back because of what happened last night. She says this is a devastating loss. Sunday night, Pamela Williams says she held on to hope for as long as she could.
My phone went to ringing, it was like people calling and letting me know that my daughter was shot. And when I got the call, I called my husband, and he came and picked me up, and one of my coworkers, we went to the hospital. We went to the hospital, and we got there. It was out of chaos.
At the scene, dozens of evidence markers lined Cleveland Road. The Jacksonville Sheriff's Office finally revealing 5 people were shot, a baby among the dead.
And my heart go out to that family, because, it's just sad that these other people lost their lives too, including my daughter. They didn't even have, this baby didn't even have a chance to see the rest of growing up, and it's just sad. My heart go out to that family.
According to police, the shooting happened just after 6. An argument is what prompted the firing. Pamela Williams says her daughter, 18-year-old Zaisha Burnham, lost her life. She says she was a good girl, outgoing, who spoke her mind.
They're not supposed to be getting killed. They're supposed to be enjoying their life. I mean, senior year, going to proms and stuff. And I mean, every time you turn around, I'm looking at the TV, young people getting killed. I mean, just senseless. I mean, just don't make no sense.
Now, it's one reason why people are showing up here for a vigil tonight to honor these victims. It's empty now, but it is going to be filling up within the next hour. They say enough is enough. The mayor, like you heard, held a news conference expressing his anger, and he, along with the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office, are begging people with information about this crime to please call Crime Stoppers. You can remain anonymous, but they need you to call and give those tips to them. That number is 1-866-845-TIPS. For now, we're live. Heather Lee, Channel 4, the local station.
Heather, thanks. The community is praying for the families of those involved and spreading that message of putting an end to the violence. Channel 4's Elizabeth Campbell joining us now after speaking with people in the area today. Elizabeth?
Well, Joy, we're also at that park where in less than an hour that vigil is going to begin. We're about 2 miles from where the shooting happened, and just down the road from there is the local YMCA. It's the Johnson's Family YMCA, and I spoke with the executive director, and he says now more than ever is the time for the community to come together, be there for one another, and he reminds that their YMCA is a location where people can come to have a safe spot in a time of comfort and need.
Anytime someone dies, it's, in my opinion, a tragedy. And so you wanted to extend prayers to the victim's family, but you also wanted to extend prayers to the perpetrator's family as well.
We don't know who that perpetrator is. The Jacksonville Sheriff's Office asking anyone with information to come forward. 3 people lost their lives last night. 11-month-old Tadashi Williams, his mother, 22-year-old Khadijah Williams, and 18-year-old Zaisha Burnham after a shooting on Cleveland Road in a parking lot across the street from the Cleveland Arms apartments. 2 others were also shot and have minor injuries. Dr. Irvin Cohen is Vice President of Social Responsibility at the Johnson Family YMCA, just half a mile from where the shooting happened.
We're just a place in the community that understands that tragedy does happen, and you know, probably in communities like this, it happens far too often, but for the last 50 years, we have been that space in the community where those members who are hurting can come.
He says their YMCA is there to comfort those who need it during times like this, but he says they're also there year-round, teaching youth and adults life lessons, like how to properly handle conflict.
I think the thing that I always, in particular, tell my young people is breathe. Take a moment to just breathe, and in the time that it takes for you to catch your breath is the time that you could probably have to say, this really wasn't that important, at least not that important where someone is actually going to lose their life behind it.
A reminder, the vigil is happening here at Simon Johnson Park off Moncrief Road at 6 o'clock tonight. I also spoke with the cousin of one of the women who was killed last night. Hear her plea to the community coming up tonight at 6. Reporting live from Northwest Jacksonville, Elizabeth Campbell, Channel 4, the local station.